All right, welcome to this second module in this Managing AWS Operations course. We just got done with Module 1, which went through all of the different tools that AWS Systems Manager has to offer. Now in this module, we're going to start diving into monitoring compliance. So to do that, we're going to use several different tools. But what does that mean for you? What should you expect in this module? Well, we're going to do a CloudWatch overview. We're going to go ahead and work on creating and monitoring alarms. We're going to utilize and manage CloudWatch events. And then we're going to work with some of the compliance services that are built into AWS for you to use. Now that's going to wrap this intro clip up. Go ahead and move on to the next one where we're going to actually start diving into CloudWatch itself. In this clip, we're going to start discussing CloudWatch at an overview level. So we're going to go through the overview from the console itself. We're going to look at dashboards, which allow us to configure different widgets. We're going to work with our alarms so we can monitor different metrics and alarm our teams when these metric thresholds are crossed. We're going to work with events and rules, which allow us to perform certain tasks when certain CloudWatch events are triggered in our account. And then we're going to go ahead and work with logs, so actually logging to CloudWatch, which is its native functionality. And then we're also going to talk about metrics, which is going to include metric filtering and subscriptions. So let me go ahead and actually open up my AWS console screen. Now, once I'm here at the home page, I'm going to find CloudWatch here, which is under my recently visited services. I'm going to open that up, and that brings us to the landing page for CloudWatch. You can see here we have an overview, and there are several different options in this menu. And we'll actually go ahead and discuss these different options and how they actually appear here later on within this module. Now, if I just scroll down on this landing page here, we can see that we have alarms that are broken down by AWS service. So I have 2 billing alarms right now. We have an insufficient within our Lambda service, and then really no other ones that are configured. But this really allows us to see at a high level quickly what type of alarms that we're experiencing within our AWS account. Now, over here on the right, we can actually see our recent alarms. We can see my billing alarm because I'm having estimated charges that cross a threshold, and we'll dive into metrics and how they're measured here later on in this module. And then you can see I have an invocation alarm for our Lambda functions. And then if I scroll down a little bit more, we can see if we wanted to, we can also enable a cross-service dashboard. So what this would allow us to do is, as it says, aggregate key metrics from each of the services in our account. So I would click this if I want to enable it. And there we go. We can see I have CloudFront, billing, total error rate, which is underneath CloudFront. We have our logs, all of the different services that are active in our account. So I'm actually going to go up here. I'm going to go back to overview. And then I'm going to scroll all the way down, and we can actually see that we can set a default dashboard. So when we're creating a dashboard, which we'll talk about in the next clip, we can name it CloudWatch Default, and it will be displayed here. So we're going to skip that for now. And then the last thing I want to show you here on this particular page is the time range. If you see, we can actually specify certain presets for times, or we can get in here and define a custom time. Now, we're not going to dig into this in this clip, but this will come into use when we start defining alarms and metrics that we need to measure for. So I'm going to close out of this, and then I just want to walk through the menu over here on the left. We can see we have dashboards, which is what we'll talk about in the next clip, our alarms, we have events, we have logs, and then we have metrics. So these are really all of those topics that we talked about back on the presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this clip up. So now we should have a firm understanding of CloudWatch as a service from a high level. Now I'll see you in the next clip where we're going to discuss dashboards.